Good morning. Something that's really important to all of us to do on a regular basis. And it's March 2023. In the US, our economy is doing some very interesting things. Banks are crashing because interest rates went up, gas prices have gone up, inflation, labor costs are crazy. So we were just discussing as a group the importance of doing market analysis on an annual basis, and we decided that it may be, in order to pivot in a timely manner and not get caught in an undesirable situation, it might be good to do this, even spot testing on a quarterly basis or semi-annual basis. So what are we talking about with market analysis? We're looking at supply, demand, competition. So what is the demand, and how do you determine what the demand is? I think there's even more questions that go along with this. The visual here, what is market research? Market research is the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data about your target market, consumers, competitors, and the industry as a whole. And there's more questions. Like, what are the latest market trends? Is the demand or competition trending up or trending down? Is there enough demand for what you have to offer? What is the demand? How much competition do you or will you have? What are your top competitors doing to get new clients? And how are they unique and special? Or are they? The other thing I look at is, what are some of the challenges and problems and complaints that clients have about your competition? How can you do a much better job and erase that perception? You can check out Google and see what your competition is doing. You can be a secret shopper. You guys know what a secret shopper is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can have somebody else be a secret shopper, if you don't want to get caught, and have them give you feedback about the experience. But supply, I love going on Google and looking and seeing how strong is the competition, and how do you determine that? There's local directory listings like Google Business Profile, like Yelp, Merchant Circle, Alignable, and then there's individual websites. If I look at the first 10 spots on Google for my competition, and I see a bunch of local directory listings, I know that my competition isn't that strong on an online basis. And if I look at the Google Business Profile, I can pretty quickly look at what's their ranking out of 5 stars? What's their average ranking? How many reviews do they have? If I have 20 reviews and they're 5-star and they have 450 reviews and that's 4.5 stars, it's going to be tough for me to bump them off, and I'll want to use marketing tactics that I can be more competitive in and really shine. So that's, and you can see how in your area how many competitors there are, and look at their website. Is their website up to date? Are they current? Are they marketing? Do they have visibility? I remember helping start up a art gallery and salon business years and years, decades ago, and we failed to look at the supply, look at the competition. And the other thing we didn't do was look at the costs, the retail costs of renting a space. So we had a high overhead and a lot of competition. It was almost like we were doomed to fail at the beginning. And there could have been ways of finding a less expensive place, having a different business model. But this is This is important at the beginning and before starting a business, and then regularly while running a business. So the supply is one thing, and then demand is how many customers, who is your target market demographically? And you can go online and do research and get the demographics. What's the population? What's the age diversity, male female ratio, et cetera, et cetera. And we talked a little bit about the competition and doing research. My favorite way to do market analysis is through surveys. And why would I highly recommend that? That takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. Well, the deal is the more time and the more effort and the more like FaceTime, in person, one-to-one. There's ways of using SurveyMonkey or other ways of gathering information that are more efficient, an email list. And oftentimes, if you don't do it in person at least 10 times, you're not going to be asking the right questions. If you have a list of questions and then they don't understand the question, or they give perfunctory answers and you need follow-up questions, those are the ones you want to write down and edit your list of questions. And then you can use technology in the future to leverage gathering information. But the other thing that does is it puts you in front of your ideal clients, your referral partners. It gives you exposure. It gives you practice in building your courage for reaching out to people that maybe you don't know so well. And, I don't recommend cold outreach necessarily, but it's certainly one thing to do. But, even looking somebody up online and learning about them, and then thinking about what's in it for them to build a relationship with you. How can you support each other? That opens the door and it warms up a cold lead. So the other thing is, I've found when I do market analysis and I do it in person and I set up one-to-one meetings with, say, 20 people and do this every quarter, every half a year, I often get business from it because it's non-threatening. I'm like, times have changed in the industry. I want to stay up with what people need, what they want. I want to improve my business. Would you be willing to spend 15, 20 minutes with me and give a little feedback? And I'm happy to give tips or help out reciprocally. And so surveys, I'm a huge fan of that.
When you say surveys, Jim, I hear you're mainly talking about, like you're saying, the one-to-one type of survey. I never thought of that as a survey before. I always think of survey as some sort of a form thing.
Okay. And whatever word works for you.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think it is a survey, and there's different ways of doing it, but you're right. That's kind of common terminology or understanding. Personally, I think whether it's marketing, if we're building relationships, strong relationships, one-to-one in person is the fastest and best way to build relationships. I've gotten coaching clients with a free hour consultation, and they'd never met me in my life. And so then there's phone, then there's text, then there's email, and it takes more iterations. It takes a bigger reward if you want participation in your surveys. The further away you get from face to face, and I think Zoom is a great option.
Yes.
Whether it's consultations remotely. I have one client that we're doing a whole business plan for her. She just bought a business, and I helped her with due diligence and the negotiations. And I didn't realize she was driving an hour each way to see me. And that was great to start the process. But now we're meeting on Zoom, and it's really effective. So there's a lot of great technological options, but I recommend doing, at least 5 to 10 surveys up front to get your questions really dialed in before you leverage technology.
Good idea.